In a lush, green jungle there lived a little elephant named Elly, and a funny little tiger named Tigger. Elly had a long, curly trunk and big floppy ears, while Tigger had bright orange fur with black stripes and the silliest, bounciest tail you could ever imagine. One sunny morning, the two friends sat underneath a giant banana tree, curious about the colorful world around them. "Elly, why is the sky blue?" Tigger asked, looking up at the endless sky above. Elly twitched her trunk thoughtfully. "I'm not sure, Tigger, but let's find out together." Off they went on a grand adventure, tumbling through the soft grass and jumping over tiny streams. Their first stop was at the edge of the forest where a big pond shimmered under the sunlight. They met a wise old frog named Freddy who was sitting on a lily pad. "Freddy, Freddy, why is the sky blue?" Tigger exclaimed. Freddy chuckled and explained, "The sky is blue because the sunlight scatters through the atmosphere. There are tiny particles up there that spread the blue light all around." "Wow," said Elly. "That's amazing. Freddy, do you know why my favorite bananas are yellow?" Freddy smiled and nodded. "Bananas are yellow because they contain a natural pigment called carotenoid." Tigger giggled. "That's a funny word. But what about the grass, Freddy? Why is it green?" Freddy hopped closer and croaked. "Grass is green because it contains chlorophyll, which helps it make food from sunlight. Isn't that clever?" Elly and Tigger clapped their hands and paws in excitement. They continued their journey, spotting a rainbow stretching across the horizon. They gasped at its array of colors. "Let's count the colors of the rainbow," Tigger suggested. They saw red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Rainbows happen when sunlight passes through raindrops and splits into all these beautiful colors, Elly said after remembering something they learned from a friendly parrot named Polly. Suddenly, they realized they were hungry. They came across a tree loaded with red apples. "Red apples are my favorite," Tigger said. As they enjoyed their snack, they saw a group of butterflies fluttering by, painted in all the colors they learned about. "This has been the best day ever," Elly said with a smile. Tigger agreed, adding, "And now we know so much about colors." The two friends went back to their giant banana tree and lay down, tired but happy. They watched the sky turn from blue to orange and then to the dark blue of night. As stars began to twinkle and the moonlight cast a silver glow, they whispered to each other, "We'll have more adventures tomorrow, Elly." "Yes, and we'll learn even more wonderful things," Elly replied. And with that, Elly and Tigger drifted off to sleep, dreaming of the colorful adventures that lay ahead. Timmy was an inquisitive 10-year-old boy who loved history and adventure. One sunny afternoon, while exploring his grandpa's attic, he stumbled upon an old map. The map depicted the world and was marked with 7 sparkling icons. Intrigued, Timmy showed it to his grandpa. Grandpa smiled. "Ah, Timmy, you found my old adventure map. It marks the 7 wonders of the world. Are you up for a journey through time and space?" Timmy's eyes sparkled with excitement. Grandpa tapped the map with his walking stick, and suddenly Timmy found himself in ancient Egypt, standing before the majestic Great Pyramid of Giza. With a twinkle in his eye, a tour guide named Alia appeared. She explained how the pyramid was built over 4,500 years ago, using over 2 million limestone blocks. Suddenly, Alia clapped her hands, and Timmy was whisked away to his next destination. Timmy found himself in the lush hanging gardens of Babylon. He marveled at the cascading waterfalls and the rich greenery. A botanist named Nadia appeared and told Timmy about King Nebuchadnezzar II, who built the gardens for his homesick queen. She showed him exotic plants and flowers, explaining how the garden's irrigation system worked. Timmy was then transported to the marvelous statue of Zeus at Olympia. He stood in awe of the giant seated figure, made of gold and ivory. A sculptor named Alexios emerged, explaining how the statue was constructed in honor of the King of Gods. With another clap, Timmy arrived at the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. Architect Corey guided him around, narrating how it took 120 years to build the magnificent temple dedicated to the goddess of the hunt. Corey explained the beautiful sculptures and the gigantic size of the temple. In a flash, Timmy found himself before the mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Historian Petra highlighted that it was the tomb of Mausolus, a Persian satrap. Timmy learned about its pyramidal roof and the intricate reliefs and statues that adorned it. Next, he was at the Colossus of Rhodes. A local named Dario shared that it was a giant bronze statue of the sun god Helios, which stood over 30 meters high. Dario spoke of its construction using iron and stone frames. Finally, Timmy visited the lighthouse of Alexandria. Engineer Sophia explained the lighthouse's 3 tiers: a square bottom, an octagonal middle, and a cylindrical top. She illustrated how it guided sailors safely to port. With another tap from Grandpa's stick, Timmy found himself back at home, brimming with stories and knowledge. He hugged his grandpa, thanking him for the marvelous adventure. Once upon a time in a beautiful land called Persia lived the most magnificent queen, Queen Felicia. She was known far and wide as the Queen of Cats. Queen Felicia wasn't just beautiful. Her fur was as white as snow, her eyes sparkled like the bluest sapphires, and her whiskers were perfectly curved. But what made her truly special was her wisdom. One day, a little kitten named Momo wandered into the royal garden, lost and meowing for help. Queen Felicia, hearing the tiny cries, gently approached Momo. "What's the matter, little one?" Queen Felicia asked with a comforting purr. "I can't find my way home," Momo whimpered. Queen Felicia thought for a moment, then her eyes brightened. "Fear not, little Momo, for I will help you," she declared. She called upon the royal messenger pigeon, Pippin, who knew all the paths and trails of Persia. "Pippin, guide young Momo safely back to his family," Queen Felicia instructed. Pippin nodded and flapped his wings. With Pippin leading the way, Momo safely found his way home, and he could not stop talking about the wise and beautiful queen. News of Queen Felicia's kindness spread, and soon cats from near and far came to her for advice. One day, a wise old cat named Sage came to visit. "Your Majesty," Sage began, "I've heard tales of your unmatched wisdom. Our village is struggling with a great problem. We need your guidance." Queen Felicia listened intently, her sapphire eyes never leaving Sage's. After hearing about the troubles, Queen Felicia gathered her council. "We must help Sage's village," she declared. She devised a plan and sent help to the village. Her strategies were so clever that the problems were solved in a snap. The villagers were beyond grateful and sang praises of Queen Felicia's wisdom and beauty. As years passed, Queen Felicia continued to rule Persia with kindness and intelligence. She taught her subjects that true beauty comes from helping others, and that wisdom is the greatest treasure of all. Little kittens grew up hearing stories of Queen Felicia, the queen with a heart as beautiful as her fur, and eyes filled with endless knowledge. And so the legend of Queen Felicia, the Queen of Cats, lived on in the hearts of all the cats in Persia forever. Once upon a time, in a field as green as emeralds, there lived a funny goat named Gretel and her best friend, a chubby sheep named Chubby. Gretel was known for her curious nature and an endless appetite for exploring. Chubby, on the other hand, adored lounging under the shade of the giant oak tree, munching on delicious clover. One sunny morning, Gretel had an idea. "Chubby, let's go on an adventure today," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Chubby, a bit hesitant but eager to make his friend happy, agreed with a gentle nod. Off they went, prancing and trotting across the meadow, unaware of the surprises that lay ahead. Their first stop was the babbling brook, where Gretel's adventurous spirit kicked in. She wanted to cross the stream by hopping on the stones. "Come on, Chubby, it's easy," she encouraged. Chubby, being a little round and not as agile, hesitated, but with Gretel's persistent cheers, he finally made it across, albeit with a few funny slips and splashes. Friends from nearby farms laughed and cheered at the spectacle, but Chubby laughed the loudest, proud of his accomplishment. Further along their journey, they stumbled upon a mysterious cave. "Let's explore it," Gretel said with unabated enthusiasm. Chubby, feeling a bit braver after crossing the brook, agreed. Inside the cave it was dark and cool. Echoes of their giggles bounced off the walls as they ventured deeper. Suddenly they found something shiny. It was a treasure chest. Gretel and Chubby opened it together and found it filled with colorful marbles. "What a fantastic find," Gretel said, her eyes wide with wonder. Chubby preferred the soft, glowing marbles and pocketed a few for his collection of shiny things. As they emerged from the cave, the sun was setting, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. "I think we should head back," Chubby suggested, and Gretel agreed. Content and tired, they began their journey home, each step filled with joy and tales to share with their friends. Back at the meadow, they found the animals from the nearby farms waiting for them. "Did you find anything exciting?" asked a curious duck named Quacky. "Oh, you wouldn't believe the adventure we had," Gretel and Chubby chorused, recounting their thrilling day. From that day on, Gretel and Chubby became local legends in their meadow. They went on many more adventures, each one more exciting than the last. And no matter where their curiosity took them, they always returned home, brimming with stories and laughter, knowing that the best adventures are the ones shared with friends. Once upon a time in a lush green pond, there lived a frog named Freddy and a turtle named Tilly. Freddy was the funniest frog you could ever meet. He loved to make everyone laugh with his silly jokes and funny faces. Tilly, on the other hand, was the smartest turtle in the pond. She loved to read books and solve puzzles. Freddy and Tilly were best friends and spent most of their time together. One sunny morning, Freddy had an idea. He wanted to travel to the other side of the pond where a magical tree was said to grant wishes. "Tilly, let's go on an adventure to find the magical tree," he exclaimed, bouncing with excitement. Tilly smiled and replied, "That sounds like a great plan, Freddy, but we need to be prepared." Tilly packed a small bag with a map, some snacks, and her favorite book. Freddy, being as spontaneous as he was, just grabbed his trusty joke book. As they hopped and waddled their way through the tall reeds and lily pads, they sang songs and laughed at Freddy's jokes. Suddenly, they reached a wide and deep stream that they had to cross. Freddy tried to jump over but fell into the water with a big splash. Tilly giggled and said, "Freddy, we need a plan. Let's use that log over there as a bridge." Tilly's quick thinking saved the day, and they safely crossed the stream. Just as they were catching their breath, they heard a rustling noise. Out popped a family of ducks who looked lost. Freddy immediately went into action, making funny faces and quacking like a duck to cheer them up. Tilly pulled out her map and with her sharp eyes, guided the ducks back to their home. "Thank you, kind friends," quacked the mother duck. With their good deed accomplished, Freddy and Tilly continued their journey. They faced many other challenges, like thorny bushes and trickling streams, but Freddy's humor and Tilly's wisdom saw them through. Finally, after a long day of travel, they arrived at the magical tree. It shimmered with a golden glow. "Wow, it's even more beautiful than I imagined," Freddy said in awe. Tilly nodded, equally mesmerized. "Now it's time for our wishes." Freddy clapped his little froggy hands. Freddy wished for an endless supply of jokes to make the whole pond laugh forever. Tilly wished for more books and puzzles, so she could learn even more and help others. The magical tree granted their wishes with a sparkle. They danced around the tree, happy and content. When they returned to their pond, they were greeted by all their friends who were curious about their adventure. Freddy shared his new jokes, making everyone laugh, while Tilly shared the new stories and puzzles she had learned, helping everyone grow smarter. And so, Freddy the funny frog and Tilly the smart turtle lived happily ever after, spreading joy and wisdom throughout the entire pond. The end. Once upon a time in a magical land, there was a kingdom entirely made of chocolate. The trees bore chocolate fruits, the rivers flowed with chocolate milk, and even the houses were made of various chocolate types. This delightful place was ruled by King Cacao, a wise yet jovial king who adored his chocolatey domain more than anything else. The people of the Chocolate Kingdom were known as Chocofolk, and they enjoyed peaceful lives. However, not far from the joyous kingdom, in the shadowy bitter mountains, lurked the devious sourness sorceress. She detested the sweetness and vowed to engulf the Chocolate Kingdom in bitterness. Her first sinister plan was to steal the source of the kingdom's magic, the golden cocoa bean, hidden deep in the royal palace's vault. One fateful night, the sourness sorceress dispatched her minions, the sour sprites, to snatch the golden cocoa bean. The next morning, chaos erupted in the Chocolate Kingdom. The rivers started to turn sour, the chocolate trees drooped, and a wave of despair washed over the Chocofolk. King Cacao was stunned. To retrieve the bean, he summoned the bravest chocolates in the land. That's when the courageous twins, Darko and Milka, stepped forward. Darko, made of rich dark chocolate, was known for his sharp mind and swift agility. Milka, crafted from creamy milk chocolate, had a heart as pure as her melted core and a strength unmatched by many. Together, they were determined to restore their homeland to its former glory. Equipped with maps, enchanted chocolate weapons, and sheer determination, the twins set off towards the bitter mountains. Their journey was fraught with obstacles. First, they crossed through the sugary swamp, where the gooey ground tried to trap their every step. With clever thinking and teamwork, they managed to navigate through. They then faced the Caramel Canyon, a treacherous land of sticky quicksand-like caramel. Using their enchanted chocolate ropes, they safely swung across. At last, they reached the ominous entrance of the sourness sorceress's lair. There, Darko and Milka encountered the sour sprites ready to defend their master's stolen prize. A fierce battle ensued, with melted chocolate splatters and swirls of magic lighting up the cavern. In a final showdown, Milka's heart emitted a sweetness so pure it countered the sour magic, weakening the sourness sorceress. Darko swiftly retrieved the golden cocoa bean while Milka kept the sorceress at bay. With the precious bean in hand, they raced back to the Chocolate Kingdom. Upon their return, they placed the golden cocoa bean back in its vault. Almost instantly, the rivers ran chocolate milk again. The trees blossomed with chocolate fruits, and joy returned to the Chocofolk. King Cacao declared a grand feast in honor of the twins. Darko and Milka were hailed as heroes, their bravery and love for their land restoring peace and sweetness to the Chocolate Kingdom. And so, under the sweet reign of King Cacao, the Chocolate Kingdom thrived once more, always ready to defend against any bitterness that threatened their sugary paradise. And whenever a young Chocofolk doubted their courage, they simply looked to the statue of the courageous twins in the town square, forever a reminder that no darkness could overcome the light of a pure heart and a sharp mind.